And we didn't even go into this whole surveillance thing where he basically crosses the ethical line. So there's this whole thing about in the Roman Republic, whenever there was a crisis, they would appoint a tyrant to kind of just be in charge and fix the crisis, and then they would give up power. And that worked until it didn't, because the last guy didn't give up the power. Batman is in this movie in a similar situation, right? Where he has this power. Like, not only does he have the power to decide who lives and dies, because he can just take out anybody he wants, right? If he really thinks the mayor needs to die, then the mayor dies, right? And the only reason he doesn't is because Batman has a code. But that's one person. He's not accountable to anybody. He acquires this power, right? And one of the ways in which he has power in this is that he hacks every phone in the city in order to get to the bad guy. And he has the foresight to give Lucius Fox that power, right? The power to destroy that tool. And then he does in the end. But he could have said, well, I can do more good with this, right? Like, people don't need rights. Like, I know what's best. This is like one example of the hero being at his lowest, because he's not a good guy exactly. It's like he's doing this for good reason, but he's crossing a line here where it's not quite all right? It's not quite acceptable. And he realizes this, and he takes steps to walk back from it, but he was at risk of crossing that line and never coming back. So there's one of those things, huh?
Yeah, there was a few times where he was trying not to cross that line. Especially, I mean, there was even explicitly said it, where it was mainly presented with his encounters with the Joker. Because even like the scene where the Joker, when he was riding towards the Joker on his motorbike, and the Joker just started there, he was like, hit me. It's like he was pushing Batman
Yeah.
to cross that line. Obviously, Batman would never do that, especially in the interrogation room as well, where Batman even said, just for you, I think something about break that code or something like that. So there were definitely
Yeah.
there was definitely a few times, which was a smart thing for Nolan to do as well. Definitely a few times where they were pushing for Batman to cross that line, and he was getting at that edge, and I thought he was actually gonna cross that line after Rachel died, but he still managed to kind of like
Yeah.
still stay behind it.
And
Yeah,
then there's another scene where he drops the mobster from a height that is high enough that it will break his legs, but it's not so high that the fall will kill him.
yeah,
And he does it in a very methodical and very cold way. Generally, like the Nolan Batman, I think crosses the line a few times where he outright tortures people. That's one of the lines that you can't cross, right? But this Batman does it, and it does work in the story, which is a choice by Nolan. That is another case where, in pursuit of good and justice, he's doing unjust and ungood things. And that is kind of why he cannot simply be the hero in the end, because he's crossed so many lines. We cannot simply have a scene where he gets an award from the mayor and he shakes his hand, like you might have in the 60s series, or in like one of the cartoons or something, right, where Batman is just the hero at the end. Like, this Batman cannot be the hero. He may do the right thing, he may work towards some greater good, but he can't just be the hero unequivocally. And that is also one interesting place to take this. And obviously this is the middle part of the trilogy, which is where you would put that sort of thing. And then in Dark Knight Rises, he has more of a chance to redeem himself,